click
Okay.
the streaming button. So usually it
Yeah, I
takes
was
a couple of seconds,
yeah.
but we're already online actually.
Yeah, I was hoping that I don't know actually how many are
Okay.
looking into this and watching this, but yeah, I'm
Don't
ready for
worry.
this. Come, let's do it. Yeah.
It will take a couple of minutes until people join in.
Yeah.
So, don't worry, relax. Do you want me to play some music?
Please, your favorite ones if you want.
But then the problem is that the video is gonna be demonetized.
No problem, man.
I can sing your song.
Yeah, please go on.
Turn around, bright eye. Every now and then I fall apart. Turn around, bright eye. Every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now
man of
tonight.
talents.
What talents?
So many talents.
This is the rain. This is the rain song. Literally.
Yeah, man, you're actually a weightlifter, a singer, a
Not
presenter.
anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I'm starting to lift again. Now this is all like fluffy, So.
You're in the phase where you're progressing muscles, and yeah, you have to build.
At the moment, I'm transforming muscles into fat.
For the bulking progress, of course.
For the getting fat progress. It's I don't know. I need to take my life back into my hands. It was usually around the around the preparation of the D2 conference, I lose it. It's just a lot of work, and a lot of stress, and then slowly you go back into like your routine. But by the time that you're back in your routine, it's already summer. You go around without a t-shirt. You look fat like a pig, and it's too late.
But it's too delicious, man. You are in the right place for the good food. So
I know. There was a person that before coming here to Israel, they told us, "You're gonna lose so much weight because food is so healthy." No, food it's fat and delicious in this country.
I can imagine. Yeah.
We brush our teeth with hummus.
Great. I hope it's a good one.
It's a very good one. Okay, so do you want to know how many people are online?
I don't know if I want to know, but yeah.
Well, at the moment it's 19.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
It's not bad. Yeah, usually it takes about 10-15 minutes, but people like to join in because of the live to ask questions, and usually oh my god, I did not keep an eye on the chat, and the messages kept coming. Okay, so we got a couple of people, usual people. Oh, Drokis is online. You know who that is?
Who?
Drokis, Mike Golden.
Ah, Mike Golden. Yeah, I saw him.
Nuno managed to come online as well. Pedro is online. Of course, Pedro basically lives with me. I'm gonna make him sleep on the couch.
On that behind you, yeah.
Luria, I think this is the first time that I see you, Luria. But very nice. Welcome to the channel. Akshay, hi. Okay. Good. So, what is happening, Pedro? Ah, okay. Sorry, I thought that something was happening. Okay, so we got 20 people now online. I think we can start with the interview, huh?
Okay, cool. I can't believe that there are actually people who want to see and hear me and want to ask me some questions.
Well, it's I asked around and they say, well, we got nothing better to do.
Okay, that sounds more like a real.
It's a Wednesday. It was either Netflix or. Anyway, okay, so let's just get started with this interview. First of all, Irinel, I'm extremely happy that you decided to come on the show. I look at you as a, with a lot of respect, because I know the kind of person you are. And, I really wanted you to have a chance to share a little bit your story, from the very beginning, because I think it was a very romantic story. And in a way, when I was reading it, when I was going through the, maybe let me back up for a little second. Basically, there was a time that I asked you, I was making this video how to get more clients, and then you made that answer, and I found it super beautiful. And when I make videos, I basically ask artists that I keep a higher regards, you know, what their opinion is, so that I have some material that I can work with. And this is basically how I build up. Then, unfortunately, your answer came a little bit too late, so I could not put it into the video. But I say to you, you know, let's do a video together, because I think this might be worth sharing. I think what it's very very cool, and something that I would like you to talk about tonight, is the way you've been able to pivot a little bit away from ArchViz into something a little bit more holistic. Maybe you can talk about it a little bit. You know, okay, maybe that's enough of an introduction. I just pass the word to you, and so that, you know, you can start from the very beginning, whatever you like.
Okay, so yeah, from the very beginning, I was it all began I think in 2006. I decided to actually do social science, so I study social science instead of design, because I was thinking that design is more like a hobby to me, before I actually realized that it was the exactly opposite. So not quitting the social science thing because it was too late. Actually, it was just had to write my thesis, and don't want to abort that, to break that up. So I started design and fell really fast in love with 3D. And in this time, and I think it was 2010. I met Torvald at that time, and we did some jobs for his dad, or for the company his dad had, and did a lot of booths for fairies, not in terms of designing the booth, but in terms of visualizing that booth. And from the scratch, actually. So building up from every wall and object you had until, or to the final frame. And this was this were the very steps at the beginning to actually paid jobs in 3D. Yeah, and over time we got a bit better, and was introduced to other clients, but remaining in that fairy direction and ArchViz direction. But we were a bit younger, and we needed the money, I would say. So we took every job we had the chance to take. So that kind begins to shift at that moment. So we just made more like product visualizations or even animations. It was really exciting time to develop a really broad and wide area of 3D, and realize there is so much to learn about 3D. And yeah, this was the very beginning of 3D, and the very beginning of freelancing and to do my business there.
But you also worked at other companies before doing this alone venture, right?
No, actually, never worked at a company before, at a studio before. Like I said, I was able to do freelance stuff while studying, and took a break from the study to make some money and to be paid on actual 3D jobs. And after a while, I finished my degree, so made that a bit clear. But actually, never worked for a company as an employee. So
how did you learn 3D?
On the hard way, I think. Like nights and nights full of tutorials and hours and spending vacations in my basement and learning 3D. It was just
like an obsession.
Yeah, it is. It's still like an obsession. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing, maybe not so good thing for others in my environment. But yeah, it's like what I love, and yeah, it is an obsession for sure.
Did you start with because I know you use both like Cinema 4D and 3ds Max, right?
Actually, I tried to use 3ds Max because that was at the beginning. I was introduced to Cinema 4D while I was studying. So that was the very first program I get used to for 3D. So I got amazed what you can do in 3D, and I learned Cinema 4D instead of other programs, and realized too late that maybe learn more softwares is better to compare your skills and what you can do with that software. So yeah, I'm kind of stamped to that Cinema 4D stuff, and I don't think at my age it would make sense to switch completely from that to 3ds Max. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't think so.
No, I really, it's when I talk to you, I feel like you really look like the super nicest guy I've ever met.
Thank you very much.
No, but I remember the reason why I asked you that in the very beginning was I remember when I met you at the D2 conference, you were together with a group of other guys from Germany, but from a company, a rendering company.
Yeah, actually, we met at the D2 conference. I was there with Torwald, and we get in touch with others, and we met there at the D2 conference. At of course, a really big opportunity to get to others and to share ideas and
I did not pay you to say this, and I did not ask you to say this. Just please.
Pay me later, so no problem. No, that
I'll give you bitcoins.
I hate bitcoins, man. I hate bitcoins.
My bitcoins, they're worth like, I don't know.
Actually, I don't hate bitcoins or cryptocurrency. I just hate the fact that I can't buy any GPU because of that. So it's, I don't know. If I see the next guy on Instagram, who tells he has a GPU rig of 200 GPU, so I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I had one more or two more, but it's impossible to buy. So yeah.
Listen, Irinel, there was, before when we were chatting one-to-one, I asked you, I have this idea, and this idea came out from talking to other people. One of the reasons why it seems like the ArchViz market is a little bit saturated is because there are a lot of freelancers that get into the business because they learn the 3D skills, and they see it as something that they can use to monetize relatively easy and, so to say, independently from, say, an architectural job or working for an architect in an office. And then I told you, because of this reason, we find people that go a little bit too far into doing only this and kind of like surviving doing this. And then they try to pivot into other disciplines using these 3D skills. Because they kind of find themselves a little bit lost, not being able to monetize to the full potential. But in your case, it seems like you were already doing good work before. You kind of took a spin because of different reasons, right?
Yeah, of many reasons. Actually, the biggest reason is that I'm also have a huge interest in other things. Of course, I love architecture and ArchViz, no exception. It is an interior or exterior, but I'm also interested much in animation and product visualization, and experimenting with stuff, and this is also the biggest reason why I've started that daily project 365 to improve myself in other dimensions in 3D. it's like the thing that maybe I saw that interview with Johannes Lindqvist, and it was really cool. And those are these artists are so specialized. These are maybe the best in her way, in their dominion, and what they do. And I would not consider myself a specialist in what kind of way, because I'm too interested in other ways to realize 3D and to develop my ideas. And yeah, that was the main idea why I started that daily project, because I was realized that so much that I can't do actually in 3D, and I can realize that I wanted that to change.
Actually, we were talking about it before, you know, this idea of doing daily projects to do these so-called everydays. A lot of people, you know, they abuse a little bit of the production of these everydays, and, you know, it feels like, you know, some people are just chasing a little bit of attention on the internet, and the stuff that they do, it's, you know, very dry, and there is no real experimentation. In your case, in what I saw from the very beginning, you could really tell that there was some sort of like, okay, I need to understand this specific topic. And sometimes your everydays were actually repeating themselves because they were just getting better of the same thing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Can you tell me a little bit about the process of like making this everydays? What came out of this as an experience professionally?
Very much actually. Like I said, I started with that project to improve myself, to be better in what I'm doing, and to fulfill my desire and interest in other 3D cases. And I understand because there are maybe someone or some people out there who are getting attention through this and are doing daily stuff just for the attention. But yeah, that's life, man. There are always that people, and that is very okay for me at least. But it was not my intention to do that. It was a really hard thing at some point to develop new ideas, new workflows, because when I had a specific idea, I wanted to realize an idea and realize that I can't do that job because of the lack of my knowledge in 3D, and realize that I have to improve myself to learn other things, to learn other programs, to realize my ideas and to take that in my control. And that was my main drive and my main motor to be a better 3D artist in general, maybe.
At the moment, you're doing a lot of experimentation also with Houdini.
Yeah, yeah. Houdini is just it's a struggle. It was from the beginning, and it's still a struggle. But it's also really much fun. And I remember I was on vacation to Romania. It was in my uncle's place at the Black Sea, and just 10 minutes from the beach. And I was sitting there and in my room. And did 3D stuff with Houdini and just figured out how to make things work, and it was cool. I did not miss the beach. I was frustrated that I can't solve that problems, and I like to experiment in many ways with software and with ideas, with different techniques, and I hate that those ideas who came to me and make me to realize that I'm not that good as I want to be. So, but I love that also because they improved me and they motivated me to go on.
I remember I did a project a couple of years ago that then kind of landed me the job at V-Ray, which was done also whilst I was at the beach, and I did not want to go to the beach, and I just sat down at home and I worked on a little laptop on this this rendering. Which,
yeah, and you're totally happy, you know.
Yeah, of course. You know, outside it was actually too warm and too sunny.
Yeah, I just I can relate to that.
I want to ask you now, making the shift, because you're still working in architectural visualizations, but you know, making the shift and going into other disciplines, which kind of challenges presented for yourself?
That's might be a good question. I think so. There are many challenges. I think the biggest challenge is to keep myself going on my own business and company, and to keep that running, and to calculate the prices, and to speak to clients, to get in touch, to get better at a business thing also. But the main challenge in that shifting thing is I think to keep that discipline to learn. I think that's the most challenging thing to keep on running and to keep on learning more that you already knew. So that is at least for me the biggest challenge, to not get lost on the way of what I want to achieve and where I want to go, and on which project I want to work in the future. So
I see it that, you know, I mean, you're always like presenting brand new work, like, you know, small experiments, and now you don't call them dailies anymore, but they're just, you know, little. Hold on, let me see if I can find some, because probably, I don't know if people are acquainted with your work. Just give me a second. I want to overlap some. Now I don't find your page.
Yeah, actually, it was like when it's ended after that year, it was more that I was happy with that. I wanted that project.
Because you did like 365 days, right?
Exactly. That was my project to end in that year or after a year, and after that it was a mixture of feelings. Of one kind, I was happy to not be in that pressure to do daily work. It was really relieving. On the other side, I was missing something to make a little 3D stuff, and to dive again into that posting every day. But so I have more time for developing ideas, for spending more time on a specific project, not posting any shit because of it's too much work to learn a thing, and you have to think 2 or 3 days in forward. So
I remember there was a time where I really wanted to build my YouTube channel, and basically what I ended up doing was making one video every single day.
Yeah.
And I did this for like 6 months, one video after the other. But you know, the easiest video would take me at least a couple of hours to cut and to put together. And there were videos that it took me like 5 hours to put together. So
but that thing is underestimated. Yeah, thank you. That you have to work on a daily basis. You have to develop a kind of discipline on that, to challenge yourself on a daily basis. And in terms of or through that posting and sharing, you're kind of building up a force that you have the pressure. Okay, I have to post something. I have to do something, because if not, that project is failed. So.
Now let me ask you: when you started to branch out and to go into other fields and trying to, you know, make different things other than architecture visualization, How did you approach new clients that would have been interested in the new stuff? How did you do this?
Yeah, that was actually the thing that I tried to explain you. How my personal approach to new clients it was at the beginning. I used to visit some meetups, for instance, of a couple of businessmen who did that team building, team up, and you had to present yourself on a weekly basis and get in touch with other businessmen and present yourself and your business and what you're doing, and wake an interest of the clients to your job. That was one strategy I tried. The other is I try to visit fairies and get in touch with people. It's really hard to some kind of to do a flirt with businessmen and to start from nothing to talk to them. But that are usually the ways how you would approach that. And of course that posting every day was a huge improvement on that thing. I get to know I got to know to many people who saw that I did those pictures and renderings, and get in touch with them and talk to them and share thoughts and work actually with them together. So it was a success for me, at least on every term, I think.
This is a very good idea, because there is I'm now discussing this idea with some people that I'm kind of like trying to make stuff happen here in Israel, to have like sort of breakfast meetings with clients and so on, kind of like get-togethers where you invite clients and you explain them what you are doing.
Yeah, that's a great thing, I think.
And the idea at the moment is the biggest problem that I'm having myself is that people are too used to the fact that for years they've done things in a certain way, and they're finding it very hard to change their own routine. But I think actually implementing a change as a whole is relatively easy if you really understand the purpose of that change, and if you believe in the fact that this is going to make a change. And eventually I'm a little bit jealous that you say that you have this kind of events, because like here in this city, for instance, we don't have any. When we were in Vienna, we didn't really have that kind of exchange with clients. And I don't know, it's just that I don't know if it's something that we have to tackle from the side of the clients, to kind of make clients understand that without that kind of cooperation, you cannot grow, you cannot develop.
Yeah.
Or if it's something that we have to stimulate from the community itself, so that at least the community gets stronger, and then as a result, clients get involved and clients understand us a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and in my case, it was a business meetup with other businessmen, but from completely foreign topics. So this was a breakfast meetup, but with lawyers, with carpenters, with every other business that you can imagine, and it was hard to explain what I am actually doing. So the first question was if I said I'm the 3D guy. I'm doing 3D visualizations. Is that a 3D printing thing? And I said no, unfortunately not. And that was the main challenge at that breakfast club, actually, to explain what I'm doing and to explain what are the benefits of 3D visualizations. Comparing to photography, or what are the strengths of the 3D. So if that Breakfast Club is more focused on 3D and media, it would be more effective, I think. So it was a good experience for me, but because of that I meet very foreign businesses. It was not just like that effective for me, I think.
But you know, in a way, maybe it wasn't effective in terms of like getting work, but it might have been effective in a way you kind of discover yourself. Because, you know, I resonate a lot with what you just said, that I didn't know how to explain what I was doing. And this is actually an issue for a lot of us, you know?
Yeah.
When we say we're not architects, we are 3D artists, and people ask us, okay, so what do you do? So, you know, it becomes very difficult to kind of put ourselves in a box, because, you know, people tend to deal better with little boxes, and they know, you know, accountant, lawyer, doctor, 3D artist.
Yeah, or the carpenter. He was getting the majority of jobs because he did a good job, and everyone knew what he is actually doing. So that was a big benefit for him, at least.
And then maybe the carpenter at the end, he was like, "Look at this 3D. Do you see? I can build this."
Yeah, unfortunately not that often, but yeah, you're right. It was an improvement for me. At one stage, you had to present yourself weekly. You had 1 minute time, and you had to think about, okay, I want to present myself to completely others, other businessmen in 1 minute. So what I want to say in 1 minute to stay in mind of that people. And that was a challenging one. So, but it was really fun, and I think I get used to present myself, at least in German. So, not maybe not in English so good.
But you are German, of course, but your name is a Romanian name, right?
Yeah. Actually, I was born in Romania, in Bucharest, and yeah, when I was 6, I went to Germany with my mother, and. Yeah, I raised here up. I spent my childhood in Germany, but I also every year in Romania and visit my uncle, my family, my dad, and yeah.
I was supposed to go Actually, I was supposed to go in a month to Transylvania.
Yeah,
because
you want to see?
No.
Yeah, you want to see the vampires. Yeah.
No. Because, you know, I have a drone and I just wanted to take beautiful landscape shots.
Okay.
And then put them on Shutterstock.
Yeah. Okay. I can recommend you actually, if you wanna see some really cool landscapes. Recommend you the Transfargashan.
We're gonna talk about this later. Otherwise, this is going to transform.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
A tourism
okay.
channel. Hold on, I need a little bit of water.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay, so basically the next thing that I would like to touch up with you is, at the moment, how many people are you working with?
With other freelancers, or what?
Because you collaborate, right? You're not doing all the work by yourself.
No. I would say 5 to 7 different.
And do you guys consider yourself as a freelancer? What's the dynamic there?
Actually, the most of them are freelancers who are getting the jobs, and that are or the jobs are too big to tackle for one person in sometimes really short time, and that is how the dynamic gets built up. The majority are freelancers, and we are doing some kind of jobs together.
Good. And do you think that in a way this will evolve one day into a small business, small company, like small sort of like a collaboration kind of thing, or do you want to stay as a freelancer?
I actually don't know what the future is holding up for me. I plan to build up a company again. I had one company back in time, but I was too young and didn't know how to at least run a business a bit better than I actually had. So yeah, I don't know. I had that built in my mind from my company, from an agency actually, and I want to work. We're still working with other artists and freelancers as well, because I like that sharing character of knowledge and ideas. I think you restrict yourself in a bad way if you say I don't want to work with others. I want to make my own stuff. At least it's my opinion, but it worked for me really good to work with others and to share not thoughts, not just ideas, but also jobs and clients, or yeah, just to work together and do stuff together is, for me, a better idea of working, of sharing and learning.
No, I agree. I think that there is a lot of strength in having people with which you can bounce off ideas, you know?
Yeah.
And you create some sort of like information or feedback loop, put it this way.
In my opinion, you need feedback. A good idea is living from that feedback. I learned that while I was studying that you need critics. You need critics to improve your work. Better that if that critics are more focused than insulting, but it's crucial for the improvement of your work to work with others and to get the feedback, to give actually feedback, to improve your eye as an artist. I think that's a very important thing of a good work.
Yeah, I think it's probably the biggest issue when doing this is to find people that you trust giving you feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like, especially on social media, that the feedback comes sometimes from a place that it's not of a general, genuine interest, but rather like, you know, stop doing this, move on with your life, do something else.
Yeah, I know. It's not that cool when you read those comments, which are not that critics that you are hoping for. But yeah, like I said, that's life. You have to deal with it. You have to handle that. And I don't know. I remember maybe 2 or 3 comments like that. But I do remember plenty of others, much more of good critics and feedbacks, which were eye open for me and which made me think, oh yeah, you're actually right, man. Thank you for that. Didn't have that in mind. So.
Yeah, if you check your ego at the door when you start working.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, it's I think it's necessary to kind of have this, you know. I get feedback all the time on my videos as well. There was a couple of days ago, I got feedback from a guy that said, great that you're doing these videos, but you should shut up and listen. And I'm like, okay.
That's the best reaction, actually, so the best one.
Every time that I say something, I'm like sweating a little bit because I know that people are watching.
No, I think that's the best reaction to that. Maybe one of the hardest as well, to, like you say, to put yourself in the background or your ego, and to focus of things that are important, and to don't forget why you are doing that. That is the most important thing, I would say.
Yeah. In other words, keep your eyes on the road.
Exactly.
Let's. There are a couple of questions already coming in.
Really?
It's nothing super specific. Marwan is online. I'm so happy to see you. He's a super talented guy, Egyptian artist that is just. Hi, Mustafa. So many people tuning in. Okay, thank you for all the messages. Somebody's asking, what are the best sources for like tutorials, stuff that you have learned from?
Actually, there is not the resource location where you get all the cool stuff. You have to develop a bit of research quality or skills, and at least in that type of manner, you had to research and learn how to search fast. Yeah, there are plenty of cool sites like GSG and for instance Grayscale Gorilla. I learned so much from them, but yeah, for Houdini, Rohan Dalvi makes really cool tutorials, as well as on the side of Excite itself, and Simon Fiedler, Holmedal. There are so many other guys which are just crazy good artists on that. And it depends on what you're searching about, and do you want free stuff? Do you want paid stuff? Yeah.
Now let me ask you something a little bit more personal.
Please.
There are two questions that I have for you. One is, how do you deal with fear? And by fear, I don't mean like, oh, I'm scared of like goblets, or how do you deal with the fear of saying, now I have a business and I run a business and I'm trying something new and I'm trying to get new clients on it. How do you defeat, or how do you manage that fear so that you can keep pushing forward?
I would say in my case, if there are, like you all maybe know, sometimes there are no jobs and you have more time than others, and you have to think, okay, how I pay my rent and how I manage to keep that all working. A kind of a way for me was to, if I can work, I work as much as I can. To build some kind of a pillow, we would say in German, to rest on for the days in which are not so good, or not so rich in jobs. But there are those moments where you get to understand, or you realize, okay, so maybe just a couple of months, and then I should probably do some real paid stuff to keep on going. One of the good strategies at that moment is to get in touch with clients, to write messages, to write emails, to share your portfolio, and to change about that free time. Or you invest in personal developing and learning. That is kind of my way to deal with that fear, to do something against it.
So you basically do use emails to approach new clients.
Yeah.
And does it work for you?
Actually, it works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It works. I had my current job from an email consultation to a client. I had one day last week where I wanted to write 5 different agencies and to present myself with my portfolio. Not to write a roman, just 2-3 lines where I am, what I'm doing, and to send my portfolio and to get response from them. Actually, didn't reply in any ways, and one did reply, and it works, and it ends in a job. And the mess, it's important, I think, in that direction.
And do you try to personalize the email, or do you send a generic email?
Yeah, no. I personalize that emails. I used to search for certain agencies in my local area, and to do a bit of research in terms of do they need 3D? Do they have already good images? Do they search one 3D freelancer, of course, for instance? And then I try to introduce myself in a personal way. I think it's the best way. I think that generic thing do not work really good. That's how I treat my mails, at least. If I think that they are generic and not personalized, I give not that much attention to it, instead of if they are personal, addressed to me. And yeah.
Okay. And there was another question that I wanted to ask you, which is basically, where do you get the major inspiration from? Like, which kind of, like, is there an artist that you like to follow and that you think produces kind of content that you would like to aim for?
They are too many, I think. Too many good artists. I mentioned a couple of them already, which are really inspiring and more like motivating, because they're doing such great work. You think yourself, okay, I want to at least be at their area, not be as good as they are, but yeah, of course, level, yeah. Yeah, but people, of course, it's the number one answer on that question, I think, of doing dailies. It was a really great inspiration for me at the time when I was starting that 365 project. In terms of not only an artistic way, but in terms of the discipline of that huge, insane discipline to do that over years. I mean,
10 years.
That guy is addicted to that kind of work. He can't stop, actually, I think. I'm
But you met him in Vienna, right?
Yeah, I met him. I had to drink a couple of beers to have a bit of courage to speak to him, and it was really cool. He's a really funny guy, entertaining guy. He did a great job at presenting his life daily at D2. It was a great thing to be a part of. Yeah.
There was a picture. I'm trying to think who was with them during the night, because they went out drinking, and actually it turns out the Mike really knows how to drink. He's a really good drinker.
Might be.
And I remember there were these funny pictures of all of them hanging out outside of I don't know where, somewhere in Vienna, and you could really tell they were all drunk. They were all tired.
It's a major part, but beside of that artistic line and
no,
way.
But you know, the thing is that where I was going with this, because I'm looking for the picture of the guy. The thing is that the picture was taken something like 4 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was drunk. And people was on the computer making the everyday.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, typical, classic people, I think.
This is commitment, man.
Yeah, man, exactly. That is addiction and commitment, I think. It's despite all the problems you have, despite the environment, maybe you have child or children or a wife, doesn't matter to him, I think. He's doing his thing.
That was the story that he told at the conference, where he said, you know, usually it's never like giving birth is never like they describe it in the movies, you know, that you run and you go to the hospital. No. You know, usually it's somebody, you just get ready, you just go to the hospital, and then eventually you give birth. So he was like, okay, honey, we're going. Just let me finish this. It was really funny.
Yeah, I could relate to that because of that. For me, in that year, there was nothing like actually a weekend to spend free time. And yeah, okay, you waking up at Sunday and you had to go to the office to make at least one daily. But it is not like I spent 1 hour, or I spent 1 hour on the daily. So I take the research and developing new things, and so easily run out of time, and more than 1 hour pasted by.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I wanted to ask you one more thing, but now I lost my train of thought because I was trying to listen to you and looking for
sorry.
The picture of. No, it's fine. It's my fault. You know, I try to do a lot of things at once, and you know, I have a limit myself as well. I just wanted to ask people watching this, because I haven't done it already, in case, you know, they have any questions, to come up with the questions right now so that we can leave the last part of this video to answer these questions. Usually this takes a couple of minutes, but we will wait. Anyway, dude, for now, I just want to thank you for taking the time for doing this.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, it's really my pleasure, and you're a very inspiring person. Also,
thanks,
you know, you come across as a very hardworking guy. You see it, you know, you're always posting work. You seem to know everything that you do very well. You know, I follow the conversation that you have online. It's I admire, you know, the commitment and the passion.
Appreciate that
you have. And
thank you very much.
One last thing I really want to ask you: if somebody is thinking to kind of pivot away from ArchViz and branch into other directions, which kind of recommendations would you give them?
Actually, it's like you said one time in your videos. Plan your time. If you do your business and you're working on your own, you earn money, and you have to make those things work, and your business and your company work. So you have to plan your money. That you have to plan your time to do other things, and to learn more, to take your time to research, and to develop your skills, and to shift in other areas. You have to plan this. This will not come on its own to you. So you have to be active and initialize that on your own.
It's funny that you're talking about this thing of the money. Today I've had another conversation, another interview with another artist, which is an Italian artist, and I think I'm gonna publish this video next week. He's a very successful entrepreneur in Italy, and he has a company that you know, produces beautiful work, actually really beautiful work.
Cool.
And basically one of the topics that came up is that, you know, when people make money, especially the youngest ones, they consider the money as earnings, when actually at the very beginning you should see it as a, you know, kind of a tool. Like money comes in, you don't spend it as in a way that you have earned it, but you should save it, or you should put like half of it away to kind of plan what the next steps would be.
I would agree on 100% of that. If you have the privilege or the luck that you earn that money, and you actually get to the paid jobs and get to the clients, don't spend that money on I don't know, maybe useless things. I would recommend, like you say, spend that money on your own development and your learning. Spend it for better software. Spend it for what you are willing to do in the future. That would be a great idea. I think I try to manage my money at this way, and I would recommend to others the same.
Mike has a question. He says, "I'd love to hear more what your long-term goals are for the type of work and industry you like to see yourself in, and how you plan on getting there."
Yeah, long story short told, I want to just get better in what I am doing, but yeah, there are some dreams I had in my mind. I'm now 33 years old. Maybe I get to that point somewhere in the future where I work with big companies together on big jobs and do really cool stuff where I'm proud of it and getting to know other people and artists and learn from them. That would be a great thing. And yeah, my way of doing that is don't give up and just keep on rendering and doing what you love every day. Just like that. That's no magic thing about that. I think no cheating, no shortcut, like Johanna said. There's like, yeah, just do it. Yeah.
Today I heard a beautiful phrase that is, if you cheat, you shouldn't win. So, you know, if cheating is allowed, but don't win, because if you win, then people gonna find out.
Yeah, I think the same. I think you at least or in the end you're not be able to win. In my opinion, there is no cheating, and except that you are copying other works and make money off that. But yeah,
that's plain stupid.
Yeah. That's maybe not the smartest way to do your business. At least it's my opinion. Yeah, but yeah, there's no actually cheating. You have to spend time. You have to spend your time, and I would say keep in mind that your clients are not paying for your product, what you give them. They pay for the years you have spent on to deliver such an image, and keep that in mind and keep on working.
You get paid for what you know and not for what you do.
Yeah, yeah, you get paid for the whole effort you did in those years
This is a phrase that you know, Chris Do, is the guy from the future. He always says that, and I kind of made it also a little bit my mantra.
Yeah, I think it's a good phrase. I didn't develop it on my own. I have heard it from a professor of me, when I was studying, and he said that thing to us. Keep that in mind. At some point, you have many years behind you and learned many other things, and because of that, the client will pay you because of that experience and knowledge, not because of the actual working.
I remember there was a joke that we say in Italian that, you know, a woman goes to a doctor and, you know, she does a test and the doctor says, oh, it's going to cost you 300 euros. And then the woman says, oh my God, that's so much. It's, you know, it took only 10 minutes. And then the doctor says, yeah, but I studied for like 30 years. And the woman says, it's not my fault that you're stupid.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. That are going some kind of wealth for the woman. Yeah.
There is a question. Since you talked about money, income, if you were wealthy enough not to worry about money, what would you do with your time?
If I would be wealthy enough. I think just at the moment playing all day with Houdini. I think that would be the main thing I would do.
Not the magician, the software.
Yeah. Also the magician. I've heard he was a cool guy.
I want to be dropped in a pool full of water,
and then like... I have to know how I gonna get out of this. No, actually experimenting. Keep on experimenting. But yeah, I have to worry about the money, so I had to work actually, and not every job is like. Wow, very inspiring, cool thing. I can learn from it. So it's just like you the necessary thing you need to do to keep on doing other stuff that you have in your mind. So probably we're experimenting a lot more than I do.
Okay, I have another question. Akshay asks, how do you manage your schedule? Yeah, he wants to know how you manage your schedule, and he wants to know how I manage my schedule. Okay, go for it.
Okay, schedule in terms of how I manage my time and on project and
like also you know how you squeeze something like this interview inside of your.
Okay, yeah, I have a little app called Mite, M-I-T-E, who tracks your time basically, and there you can.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's really helpful little app. I have it open all the time. Have different clients, different projects, and just hit the button, track the time, and it's really helpful to manage your actually work time on project and to learn how long I would be working on a specific project, because maybe I had that project tracked for once or twice. So that little thing I use a lot. Quotes, paper and pen, the most important thing if you go to clients and talk about jobs. I really recommend that. Write everything down, not every word, but write everything down that could be important for you for the job. I promise you will forget it. You will, definitely.
No, of course, I know that. You know, it's basically the way I do it instead, because he's asking also mine. I have a calendar of like all activities. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Calendar.
And really, if I ever forget to put something on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Like, you know, the first thing that I say to people, send me a confirmation, you know, and this is for myself. Like yesterday, for instance, when we did this, it was a little bit more natural, you know, and it was organic. And I said, oh, you know, I saw you posting something, and I was like, actually, you know, I wanted to talk to you about this video, but I don't have the time for the next 2 weeks. Let's just do it. I checked on the calendar, I had the spot, and I was like, whoa, bingo. And then, you know, but tonight videos kind of was a priority for me. So I was thinking about it the whole time, because despite what people think, it goes a lot of thoughts on what you want to know and how you want this thing to go, because otherwise, you know, it's just a boring thing that nobody wants to listen to, you know. And it's I don't know, it's one way to do things. I know people that have like certain calendar apps, and they use like cross-referencing to kind of put their tasks inside, and it's highly optimized to, you know, if a job doesn't come in or if a job is canceled, to kind of jump to the other one. And I'm like, man, you want me to die?
Yeah, that's a really professional way, or a technical way to organize your schedule. I'm interested in those applications where you can put all your information you have about clients, about jobs in one interface, and track all of the details. But it's like you have to balance that out. I think if you have to think, okay, I had to put those informations actually in those interface and program. You spend maybe more time on that, or you hire someone who do that for you. But you know,
all cost you money.
It costs you money. So maybe you balance that out, and of course, write everything down.
There is sorry, I interrupted you. Do you want to go on?
No.
There is a question from Mustafa. He asks, how do freelancers deal with taxes from a country to another? You know, he says it's a very open question. I mean, my answer, and it's the quickest answer, whatever you earn, half doesn't exist.
Yeah, I would say the same. Yeah, I would just say the same. That it's really easy, and it's the easiest way to not get in problems, I think, and it's really comfortable to not having problems on that side of the business. So if you make your bills, I don't know, half of that is not yours, and keep in mind, don't spend all the money you have in your account from all your jobs at once, and you say, oh my god, I have I don't know, 2,000, 5,000 I will spend. Keep in mind, that is not your money at the entire.
Yeah, Mustafa keeps writing because he's now based in Italy, and you know, I've had a conversation about this with a very good artist from Italy, doing this IVA or VAT in German, Mehrwertsteuer. In Italy, it's a little bit like shooting yourself on the foot, and that's because the government doesn't want you to do that kind of stuff. It's it's harsh to say, and you need to be either extremely good at doing that, or you're simply not able to be a simple professional freelance worker,
Yeah.
It's in Italy, it's worth for you to open your VAT only if you are, say, a lawyer or a doctor and you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, forget about it. It's you cannot allow, like in Germany. In Germany, if you are, say, a gardener and you open your VAT, your Mehrwertsteuer, they let you work, They say, okay, whatever you make, you pay, whatever you have to pay. I think there is a bare minimum for like opening the VAT in Germany.
Yeah, actually, I'm not the best in that kind of work. I have an accountant who did all the booking stuff for me. But the major thing is all you buy for your business is going to your accountant, that your booking makers who manage those things. Yeah, it's not easy because Germany has a complicated tax system, which I can't understand in that whole. For instance, there is something that called Umsatzsteuer. You have to pay that monthly if you run a business in a certain shape or a certain business. And there's a thing called Umsatzsteuervorauszahlung. What that means, that you have to pay in advance. And I discovered now there is a thing that that called Sondervorauszahlung. That means you have to pay in advance, but a bonus in advance. So it's like, when comes the Umsatzsteuer Sondervorauszahlung? and
triple bonus.
Triple bonus, and suddenly you found your account pretty empty after the tax.
One question: the app for the scheduling app is called Might, right?
Yeah, Might. Yeah, MITE.
Like Vegemite, but without the veg, just Might.
Yeah, like.
Drokis is right. Drokis is right. The app is Might.
Like Might. Yeah.
Okay, that was painful to listen to. Irinel, listen, we are already more than 1 hour and almost 1 hour and 10 minutes in. Yeah. I'm gonna let you go. Myself, I'm going to sleep because I'm sleep deprived. I think I slept like 15 hours in the last 3 days. That's not good.
That's not good.
I just want to thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you very
I'm gonna
much.
stop the recording now. I'm gonna stop the streaming. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. If you, I don't know, if you found this video useful, click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah. Share this video because, you know, this guy's on fire.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who watched this.
Thank you for doing this with me. I'm going to be in Milan this weekend. So if you're there, just send me a Facebook message and we can hang out. Irinel, good night. Good night, guys.
Fabio, thank you very much.
I'll talk to you in a second. Hold on. Okay. We'll stop the streaming.